the member of the U.S. military who was flying that Black Hawk helicopter. Don't you think you're getting ahead of the investigation right now?
No, I don't think so at all. I don't think.
Whoa, guys, things got really heated in that press briefing room as Donald Trump was taking questions from the press. He fires back at them over DEI and the D.C. plane crash. This is insane stuff. He even said at one point, quote, "That's not a very smart question. You got to see this, guys. Watch to the end. It's crazy."
We don't even yet know the names of the 67 people who were killed, and you are blaming Democrats and DEI policies and air traffic control and seemingly the member of the U.S. military who was flying that Black Hawk helicopter. Don't you think you're getting ahead of the investigation right now?
No, I don't think so at all. I don't think with the names of the people, you mean the names of the people that are on the plane, you think that's going to make a difference?
Does it comfort their families?
They are a group of people that have lost their lives. If you want a list of the names, we can give you that. We'll be giving that very soon. We're in coordination with American Airlines. We're in coordination very strongly, obviously, with the military. But I think that's not a very smart question.
But are you blaming,
I'm surprised coming from you.
Are you blaming your
please.
Thank you. Thank you, President Trump. Thank you for being here. Based on your analysis so far, do you have a sense of who is at fault, if it was the plane, the helicopter, air traffic control, and can you assure people that it is safe to fly in and out of D.C.?
Well, I've given you the analysis, and the analysis was it was based on vision. You had a lot of people that saw what was happening. You had some people that knew what was happening. There was some warnings, but the warnings were given very, very late. You know, those warnings were given very late. It was almost as they were given. A few seconds later, there was the crash. It should have been brought up earlier. But the people in the helicopter should have seen where they were going. I can't imagine people with 20/20 vision not seeing, you know, what's happening up there. Again, they shouldn't have been at the same height. You're going in reverse directions or sideways directions. Obviously, you want to be at different heights. I see it all the time when I'm flying. You have planes going in the opposite. They're always lower. We're higher. So if somehow there's a screw up, there's not going to be a tragedy. It'll be close. But, you know, there's never going to be a tragedy if you're at a different elevation. For whatever reason, they were at the same elevation. And also, from the American Airlines Center, he's along the track that every plane is along. You say, what was a helicopter doing in that track? It's very sad. But visually, somebody should have been able to see and taken that helicopter out of play, and they should have been at a different height.
Thank you, sir. You mentioned the Russians that were on board that plane. What other nationalities were on board that passenger?
There were a couple of others. We're going to be announcing it in about an hour. We have some very specific information. We're calling the countries. We've spoken to most of them, but there were some other countries represented.
Mr. President, have you spoken to President Putin?
I have not, no. Not about this.
On your executive order, you've already issued an executive order you say will restore aviation safety.
Right.
This crash happened after that. Was the executive order successful, and what more needs to change to keep people safe?
Well, you know, we issued it 3 days ago, and we're in the process of making those changes. This is something that should have been done a long time ago. Actually, my original order should have never been changed, and I think maybe you wouldn't have had this problem. Maybe. Yeah, please, go ahead.
Yes, thank you. We see like everyday life that very often those diversity hires cause sometimes issues, as you just mentioned. So what plan do you have? Are we going to see some fire? Are you going to fire some of those diversity hire in the federal government? What plan do you have?
I would say the answer is yes. If we find that people aren't mentally competent, you see the language. The language is put out by them. And if you see that, I'm not going to bore you by reading it again, but these are not people that should be doing this particular job. They'd be very good for certain jobs, but not people that should be doing this particular job.
Mr. President, you have today blamed the diversity elements, but then told us that you weren't sure that the controllers made any mistake. You then said perhaps the helicopter pilots were the ones who made the mistake.
It's all under investigation.
I understand that. That's why I'm trying to figure out how you can come to the conclusion right now that diversity had something to do with this crash.
Because I have common sense, okay? And unfortunately, a lot of people don't. we want brilliant people doing this. This is a major chess game at the highest level. When you have 60 planes coming in during a short period of time, and they're all coming in different directions, and you're dealing with very high-level computer work and very complex computers. And one of the other things I will tell you is that the systems that were built, I was going to rebuild the entire system, and then we had an election that didn't turn out the way it should have. But they didn't build the systems properly. They spent a lot of money renovating a system, spending much more money than they would have spent if they bought a new system for air traffic controllers, meaning the computerized systems. There are certain companies that do a very good job. They didn't use those companies. They used companies that should not have been doing it. No, I think it's very important to understand that for some jobs, and not only this, but air traffic controllers, they have to be at the highest level of genius. Okay.
Okay, now guys, I want to show you the rest of this press briefing here because they've got some fiery questions, and Trump, like you can tell, he's not having it today. But I did want to pause and say, like, a lot of people are pushing back against Donald Trump right now because they're saying, well, he's using a tragedy to push through his agenda. Well, first of all, when have the Democrats ever not done that? They always, every time there's a shooting, they start pointing fingers and trying to push through legislation. So, first of all, the Democrats are 100% guilty of this. So, if you're going to point fingers at Trump and say, see, look, he's doing XYZ. All right, well, that's what y'all have been doing forever. So, let's not get on any high horses here. And second of all, if Donald Trump wasn't doing anything. He, of course, signed he signed some executive orders yesterday to make some real change. If he was not here doing this press briefing, making these changes, identifying issues and trying to jump on it, people would say, look, he's not doing anything. Like, he's all talk. He's no action. So one way or another, people that hate Donald Trump are going to hate Donald Trump. The thing that I appreciate is that we actually have him here at this press briefing instead of someone else, that he's actually the face of the leadership for once. You never would have seen Biden out there. Never. Right? But Donald Trump's out there. He's doing the press briefing himself. We saw him yesterday in the White House. The press was all in there as he's signing these executive orders, taking even more questions. So should diversity quotas ever take priority over competence in life and death industries like aviation? I mean, you gotta answer that question. Are diversity quotas more important than competence? Because Trump's executive order it undoes these dangerous DEI policies that may have compromised FAA hiring standards. Anytime you have to hire someone that's not as qualified as someone else, just so you can check the DEI checkbox, you're putting lives in danger with these industries. The FAA should be hiring the best and the brightest, not making decisions based on race or gender. And I mean, you really have to ask the question, could this DC plane crash have been prevented if hiring was purely based on skill and merit? Okay, of course, our prayers and thoughts are with all the victims, guys, but I appreciate that someone out there is trying to make a change and trying to make sure that this does not happen again, whatever the issue is. And 100%, these crazy liberal ideologies are dangerous ideas, and they have no place in this country. All right. Hey, guys, thanks for leaving a like. We're going to finish this press briefing because, again, so many interesting questions, and then Trump's responses. I hope that you're appreciating that, his bold leadership here. Don't forget to leave a like, guys. It helps out the channel, helps out with the YouTube algorithm. And don't forget, guys, to subscribe. If you're not a subscriber, subscribe to the channel, guys. Join the difference. Okay, let's go.
I want to ask you about the ice skaters in a moment because the U.S. ice skating community was affected. But first, if I can, the cited FAA text that you read is real. But the implication that this policy is new or that it stems from efforts that began under President Biden or the Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg is demonstrably false. It's been on the FAA's website. That, you? No, it's on the website, the FAA's website. It was there in 2013. It was there for the entirety.
What I read.
It was there for the entirety of your administration too. So my question is, why didn't you change the policy during your first administration?
I did change it. I changed the Obama policy, and we had a very good policy. And then Biden came in and he changed it. And then when I came in, 2 days, 3 days ago, I signed a new order bringing it to the highest level of intelligence.
It
Okay,
was on the website.
please.
Respectfully, it was on the website.
Quiet,
Welcome
quiet.
back. Welcome back to the. I'm sorry. You mentioned that a vision was probably the problem that was at issue in this crash. There's been some reports that one of the pilots in the helicopter may have been using night vision equipment. Was there any
I heard
indication?
that. We don't know. We're going to know that pretty soon. It may change your view plan if you do have the night vision. So it's very possible that could have happened. That would be maybe a reason why you wouldn't actually see as well as on a clear night. You can see sometimes better without it. I have a couple of more.
Mr. President, is it helpful to have your Secretary of Transportation confirmed, and does this intensify your interest in getting other nominees confirmed quickly?
Go to what?
Is it helpful to have your Secretary of Transportation confirmed, and does this intensify your interest in getting other nominees confirmed quickly as well?
Well, sure. We want fast confirmations. And the Democrats, as you know, are doing everything they can to delay them. They've taken too long. We're struggling to get very good people that everybody knows are going to be confirmed, but we're struggling to get them out faster. We want them out faster. It's a good question, actually. We've been pushing Sean. Everyone knows Sean for a long time. He got many, many Democrat votes, but they want to take as long as they can. They ask questions like some of the questions that Peter would ask that were totally irrelevant and not very good questions, but they want to just keep it going. They want to keep it going as long as possible. I was very honored, actually, that you got so many Democrat votes. That was really good. That was really good.
When I plan to meet with the families, and second question, is it your impression that military training that was done during that time?
The what?
The training that the helicopter was involved in. Is it anything you can tell us about
You
that?
don't know. These are the things that will come up with the investigation. You don't know. But the helicopter obviously was in the wrong place at the wrong time, and a tragedy occurred. Please.
I've got a question about the.
No, go ahead, please.
Thank you, Mr. President. You've been critical of the current regulations, and you've called for big reforms at FAA. I'm curious, sir.
I made the reforms, actually.
What is your message?
3 days ago, I made them.
Yes, sir. What is your message then to the American public in the weeks and months ahead? Should they feel hesitant to fly? And if you could clarify perhaps something that the Defense Secretary said when he said that this helicopter was on a continuity of government mission?
I don't know what that refers to, but they were practicing. They do that. They call it practicing, and they were. And that's something that should be done. It's only continuity in the sense that we want to have very good people, and that has to be in continuity, and that's what they refer to. But it was basically practice, and it was a practice that worked out very, very badly. Okay.
On his question, the first question, should people be hesitant to fly right now?
No, not at all. I've not hesitated to fly. This is something that it's been many years that something like this has happened. And the collision is just something that we don't expect ever to happen again. We are going to have the highest level people. We've already hired some of the people that you've already hired for that position long before we knew about this. I mean, long before. From the time I came in, we started going out and getting the best people because I said it's not appropriate what they're doing. I think it's a tremendous mistake. You know, they like to do things and they like to take them too far, and this is sometimes what ends up happening. Now, with that, I'm not blaming the controller. I'm saying there are things that you could question, like the height of the helicopter, the height of the plane being at the same level and going in opposite directions. It's not a positive. But no, we're already hiring people. No, flying is very safe. We have the safest flying anywhere in the world, and we'll keep it that way. Thank you all very much. Thank you very much.
Okay, guys, there was the latest update from, of course, that deadly crash that happened in D.C. And again, our prayers are with the victims and with their families. And we hope that they find answers. And we hope the investigators get to the bottom of what actually went down there. Guys, I don't know what the reason was. I don't know if DEI was involved. Maybe leave a comment down below. Let me know what you think. all I know is that we had a tragedy, and if there were any preventable issues or problems, if anybody was in any way incompetent that led to this, we want to hold them accountable. And we want to make sure that we put the changes in place to make sure that something like this never happens again. Now, I know that this is the first tragedy that President Trump has had to deal with in this new term. And, I wish him the best. I think that we should all get behind him and support him and push to make this country a better place. The thing that makes America so great is that after one of these tragedies, we're able to pick ourselves up by the bootstraps and keep moving forward, make changes. Of course, we mourn our losses and we pray and work for a better future. And that's what this channel is all about, guys, is making a difference. That's why it's called The Difference. Let's make a difference for our country. Let's make a difference for our families. And guys, I appreciate everybody for watching this video. I hope that, it was informative. I hope that it made you think. I hope it made you ask questions, because we have to keep asking the hard questions, guys, if we want to see the real change happen. Very happy and excited to see everything that Donald Trump is going to do over the next 4 years. And we're going to be here at The Difference for all of it. So, guys, make sure you're subscribed to the channel. Don't forget to hit that like button. And if you want to go absolutely crazy, consider becoming a channel member. Memberships are live, guys, and I appreciate, again, all the support, all the love. Thank you, everyone. Okay, guys, that's all for today's video, and I'll see you again later with another update. Peace.